Guys, welcome back to another video. So in this video I'm going to be discussing another topic that I rarely hear about, but I want to kind of discuss it in this video just in case you haven't. Um, and this is dealing with expectations versus reality when learning something, whether that be taking a course on how to draw a particular subject or learning how to, like, for example, learning how to draw digitally, learning how to digitally paint, learning how to traditionally paint. Um, the expectations versus reality of what you will be able to achieve, specifically after like taking a course. And I think for me, for the longest time, I would take a course on a subject, and after the course, I was expecting for me to be at a very high proficiency when it came to applying the information that I had just learned. And it took a long time for me to understand that after I have learned the information, right? Um, it's going to take time of me and practice of me applying the information that I learned to become proficient in it to where I feel just comfortable doing what I've learned, and then even more time to feel like um, I've really understood the information, um, and can apply it more efficiently, and then even longer to feel like I'm closer to, I don't want to say mastering that 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 skill that I've learned, but well, where I feel so comfortable with what I've learned that I don't feel like I have to reference as much information or really think about how to apply the information that I was taught. I'm gonna give you guys an example of this, and this will kind of be in itself what this topic will kind of be about, and hope I mean explain it and explain this topic in a way that makes sense. So I am taking a course on, and the course is by Aaron Blaze, um, and it is how to draw big cats. And I'm specifically taking this course because, well, two reasons. One, I love animals in general, especially like big cats. The tiger is my all-time favorite animal, and I wanted to really learn how to draw big cats because one, like I said, I genuinely love them, and then two, with me working on my own personal comic, one of the main creatures within this comic is most likely going to be based off of a large cat. So I wanted to be able to take this course so that way I can feel more comfortable drawing this character without feeling like I'm just completely lost or having to pull up references for every little thing. And learning or following along, I guess is better, following along with the videos, um, I feel like following along, I feel like I've accomplished something. Right now I've just finished the tigers. So I did the lions and I did the tigers, and I'm like, okay, like I logically understand what was being taught, what watching the drawings, even rewatching the myself go through the drawings because I followed along on Procreate, so I'm able to play back the video and kind of watch myself draw these pictures that Aaron Blaze was going through, like drawing the lion face and the tiger's face from different views, drawing different poses, and I logically understand that information, but I am not there yet where I feel like I can grasp the information or apply the information without a lot of reference at this moment, and that is completely okay. Um, Aaron Blaze has been drawing animals and creatures for years, if not decades. I think decades, to be honest. And even though I have drawn animals in the past, it's always been from reference. I have never taken the time to really study the anatomy of big cats and really study what makes them, like their unique characteristics, and what makes them them, and how the muscles connect, and things like that. And it's going to take me some time and constant practice and constantly looking at reference and really kind of breaking stuff down in a way that works for me, to really be comfortable to the point where I feel like, okay, like I've kind of got a grasp on this. And then, of course, it'll take more practice and more time to really feel like, okay, now I really got this. Um, and that's okay. And it's I guess what I want to say is to prevent frustration when you're learning something, it's really understanding that there is going to be a learning curve when you're learning something new, no matter what it might be. Um, an example would be when you were first learning how to tie your shoes. There was probably a huge learning curve for you with trying to figure out how to grasp the strings and how to make the bunny ears, or depending on how you learned, and then looping and then tying and things like that, or learning cursive, being able to not only learn the letters but also being able to tie those letters together correctly. Um, all of that, there's a learning curve for that. An example would be if you were learning your multiplication, or you were learning algebra or geometry. Trying to think what else what else you might have learned in school that would have been like a learning curve for some people. If you were learning certain theories for science, right? Um, there was a learning curve. There was time, like you were taught it and you might have understood it but it took you doing actual practice, the repetition of doing it to really get comfortable doing it. And then the more you did it over and over and over and over and over again, it just became, becomes second nature in a sense. And then you start getting to the point where, you can kind of start skipping steps um, that you used to have to take before, because it's just become so ingrained in you, right? An example would be, I guess I can, if you're like, for me, for an art as an artist, right, outside of the Aaron Blaze course, um, when I was learning like certain poses, right, certain poses when it comes to drawing, there are certain poses that I feel more comfortable drawing than others, right? So there are certain poses where I am not comfortable at all, right? Like I feel like I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to a particular pose. So what I'll do is I'll draw out a stick figure. I'll do the stick figure, I'll do the head, I'm trying to work my way down the body, yada yada yada. But then I'll go in and I'll add like the mannequins, I'll add like the basic shapes and things like that, and kind of slowly build up the character from there. And then there are certain poses and certain angles where I don't even need to do that. I can literally just go ahead and start drawing the head in, draw the neck, draw my representation of the torso, add the shoulders, and add the arms as a basis already in mannequin form, and then build the muscles or whatever else from on top of that. Um, and it's because I've gotten so used to doing it, that particular pose, that particular angle, so many times that I can skip the stick figure, um, and not have to draw that part in. Or I'm very comfortable with drawing in the features of the face, so I don't need to do a whole guide for the face that like I might do for another angle, or another character, whatever the case may be. So it's having the expectation that when you are learning something, that you might genuinely understand it, right? You might genuinely understand what you're being taught, but the reality is it's going to take you time and practice to really get comfortable with that new technique, or learning that new subject matter, to where you feel comfortable doing it, almost as comfortable as you were doing it when you were following along with like a course. Um, so even though we have high expectations, we're expecting that we'll be able to, draw lions and tigers and cougars and all the rest of that, um, without reference, I'll say, from different poses and different angles from imagination. After completing a course, the reality is it's going to take I'm going to say years, but it's going to take hours upon hours upon hours of drawing these cats, these large cats, in different poses, from different angles, before you become comfortable. And if you're doing one pose more than another, you're going to feel more comfortable doing a particular pose versus when you don't do or have never done. So that's what I want to just kind of break down, the expectations of what we have before we learn something, while we're learning it, and then the reality of what we can do after we've done a course or have learned something new. So hope that made sense. Thank you guys for listening, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.